Hi, everyone. We have got friends tuning in from all over. Hi, Susan. Hi, Lucinette. Hi, Susie. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Robin. Hey, Janet. Softflex Company is in the house. And Softflex Company is in the house. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Sarah James. I am here with the amazing Sara Oehler from Softflex Company. Welcome, Sarah, and welcome everybody to the very first night of the Galentine's jewelry making party with Jesse James Beads and Softflex Company. Sarah, I'm so excited.
I'm super excited too. How are you, Sarah James?
I am doing great. I've donned my pink today, feeling the love here in mid-January. And I'm just so excited to, spark the season of love and friendship and romance and just good vibration with you guys here at Softflex.
You look radiant. And I also wore pink, but I wore dusty pink today and a little bit of purple. But yeah, definitely thought of those Valentine colors today. And what a great holiday to celebrate right now, a holiday of love and a holiday for us to just lift each other up. And I'm very much looking forward to the Valentine exchange that we're doing in association with this event. And I got my person today. I am sending something to someone in Ohio. I think her name was Susan. So I hope Susan's tuning in, and I'm looking forward to swapping bracelets with her. And yeah, this is going to be a great night. I know a lot of you may not even know what the event is and you're just tuning in. So maybe Sarah James, you could explain a little bit about the event and the kit, and then I'll open it up and we'll get going.
Sounds like a great plan, Sara Oehler. So guys, if you are just tuning in right now, we are about to embark on night one of our 2-night online jewelry making party. That is the Galentine's Day jewelry making party with Jesse James Beads and Softflex Company. So what we have done is we've put together 2 amazing kits, beads and chain from Jesse James Beads and a really cool pendant, and wire and findings and all the who's it's and what's it that you need to put the jewelry together from Softflex Company. So we have our friends in the audience that have purchased both the kit from Jesse James Beads and the kit from Softflex. And you guys have the pleasure to be able to make along with our fabulous designers over the course of this 2-night event. So if you didn't get to get the kit, sad face, but still enjoy the make along tutorials. Sarah from Softflex, Wendy Whitman from Jesse James, Brittany Chavers from Jesse James, and Kristen Fagan from Softflex all have to share with you. So this is the 2-night event. Tonight is our first night. We're going from 7 to 9 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time. Then tomorrow, for all of you that did purchase the Galentine's Day kits, we have an after party hosted via Zoom, private event for all of us to get together and make some extra jewelry with the beads that we have left over and just hang out. We're going to be tasting and sipping some wine and just having a really nice Friday night.
I can't wait for the after party.
We had so much fun last time, like fun as an we all shared what we were making. It was very casual and cool and so nice to be able to see each other face to face.
Yeah, it's very relaxed, and I wasn't sure what to expect. I wasn't sure. I've never really been to a social event on Zoom with a lot of people that I don't know really well, and so it was really surprising how fun it was.
Yeah, we had a really great time. And another great tie-in with this Galentine's Day event that Jesse James Beads and Softflex are doing is we have invited you all to do the Galentine's Valentine's exchange. So for some of you out there that chose to participate and create a friendship bracelet for a new random friend out there, make sure that you check your email and your junk email because everyone has been paired up as of today. And you'll want to reach out to your new gal pal, chat with her or him, chat with them, and get ready to be making something cool in exchange of love for the season of friendship. All right. Aren't you my eyes yet?
All right, let's look and see what's in these kits.
Yeah, let's do it. Sarah's got the kit. She's about to pour it out and share with us what she's got. I'm gonna turn my camera off so we can spotlight on Sarah. Sarah, take it away.
All right, thank you. Okay, so first I'm going to open up the Jesse James beads. See, so a little bit. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm opening up the Jesse James bead kit first. I am going to make this gorgeous necklace today, and then if there's time at the end, I will probably make a pair of earrings on the fly. Either here, if there's not time, then I promise to make a pair of earrings with my leftover beads on Instagram Reels or TikTok, or probably both. So first, let's look and see what's inside the kit, and then I'll get started on that beautiful necklace. So all of the Jesse James beads came in this beautiful reusable cloth bag. So pretty, perfect for putting your bracelet for your Galentine in it. And even if you're not signed up to do Galentine's exchange with us, Galentine's Day is February 13th. It's the day before Valentine's Day. And it's a great day to give something special to a special gal in your life. For example, if you have someone in your life that maybe lost a husband last year and Valentine's Day is going to be tough, I suggest you think about maybe dropping a bracelet or a pair of earrings off to them. Someone who just broke up with a boyfriend or a husband, just got divorced. Maybe this would be a good Valentine's Day to think of that friend or sister or whoever it happens to be, and drop something off on their doorstep. So here's what's in the kit. I was lucky enough to get this little piece here. So you're going to see me use this today in my design. Beautiful, sparkly pendant. Absolutely gorgeous. I will be using that one. There's 4 designers over the course of 2 days. And so what we did was we split everything up. So if you've got both kits, you're going to be able to make everything that we make exactly the way we make it, or similar, depending on which Softluxe kit you got. Get this chain. But you'll be able to make all 4 designs with all 4 designers. So I forget who ended up with this chain, but boy, is that sparkly. So pretty. And then we have another chain reaction from Jesse James beads with a really beautiful dusty pink crystal. Beautiful chain too. Love it. And let's see, we have this gorgeous bead strand. Yes, queen. Someone will be using that bead strand in their design over the course of the next 2 days. And there's going to be leftover beads too. Like, I didn't use all of my beads, and I'm sure the other designers, Brittany and Wendy and Kristen, won't end up using all of their beads either. So you're going to have beads left over to still make things, which will be fun. Maybe you can use those beads to make gifts for some Galentine pals. So those 2 strands were in that kit. There was a beautiful mimosa mini mix. Let me see if it's taped. Oh, it's not taped closed. Yes. Usually I like it to be taped closed because I don't want to lose my beads, but when I'm doing a video, it can be kind of difficult. So I think Kristen got this bead mix, and she'll be making something with it tomorrow. I was kind of secretly hoping for the bead mix, but I let her choose. It's really pretty. Lots of lovely champagne colors. It'll play really nicely with our Rosé All Day design kit that everyone's using right now on the Softluxe VIB group. And then very last package, Red Hot Valentine bead mix. And this is the bead mix I ended up with. Even though I did like the mimosa, I'm really kind of happy I ended up with this one. I've been sort of having a love affair with the color red. Ever since we got the red, we got red bead strands. I think it was for our 2021 fall winter Pantone collection from Jesse James Beads. It was a red bead mix. That's what it was. I have been just all over the color red. I was kind of hoping the color of the year would be red, but it ended up being Berry Berry, which I like too. Okay, so here we are. This is the bead mix that I ended up with. And then I got this special piece as well. And so that's what I will be using today from the Jesse James Beads supply kit. And then you also were to get a kit from Softflex. And we had all of the fun supplies, the wire, the crimps, all those parts and pieces that you need, the nuts and bolts for making jewelry. So if you're not, what was that?
I said the who's its and the what's its.
Yeah, the who's its and the what's its. Did you pick that up when you were over on the other side of the pond?
I don't know.
Sounds like something they would say.
I'm really not sure. And when I said it just the second time here, it felt very Little Mermaid to me.
It might be the whatchamacallits, I think they use in that. We put a little mint in there for you in case you want to give your sweetheart a kiss. And we have some craft wire. There were 3 different metal types for these kits. So some of you will have them in gold. Some of you will have them in black and silver, like I do. And some of you will have them in copper. And copper was actually really popular, which I was surprised. I thought it would be the last metal tone to be chosen. But I think it sold out first. So that was kind of fun to see. I love to see what you guys are interested in that is just totally off my radar. And copper is one of those things. I think it's popular right now. So in your little supply kit, you should have some 2x2 millimeter Softflex crimp tubes. We put 50 in there because we weren't sure how many each designer might want to use in their design. So there's plenty for all 4 designs. We put in a pair of ear wires for every designer. So there's at least 8 ear wires in here. So any one of us 4 or all 4 of us might make earrings. We just wanted to make sure it was a possibility. We put in 4 lobster clasps. If you came to the last jewelry making party, we put in only 3. And so there were 4 designers. So it was a little tricky. Although I didn't end up using mine anyway this time, and that can sometimes happen, but you can use it on a future kit. So it's just kind of handy to have. So we have some of those. And then in the Softflex supply kit, we threw in 2 sweet little tiara cast pieces. You can find more of these on our website. It's just like a little lock and key guy. So cute. Absolutely adorable. We have 3 colors of Softflex beading wire. I believe this is our Be My Valentine trio, which contains the spinel, the pink tourmaline, and then the pink rhodochrosite. If you're not familiar with Softflex, it is 49 strands of itty bitty stainless steel wires braided together in a proprietary braid and then coated in a color nylon coating. It's very flexible. It can be tied in a knot, but it is also extremely strong. So it is just perfect for making jewelry. And then last but not least, we threw in a 22 gauge spool of Softflex craft wire. There's 15 yards on the spool, so it's quite a big spool. And it came in 3 different colors as well. I got the black, there was a gold, and then there was a copper. And so that kind of dictated the metal findings based on the craft wire. So that's what I started with, was craft wire when I made my design. So what we're gonna need if you're making along with me. So we're gonna need our beautiful sparkle piece for the center. We're gonna need a couple of these sweet little saucer beads and this gorgeous rose bead. And I'm just gonna lay it out so you can get all your beads together if you're making as well, and then we'll get going. The next component is one of these sparkly black guys, and then it's got two little bead caps on either side, and you'll need one of those for each side of your design. You're welcome to make along with the designers, or you're also welcome to make your own designs and then post them into the Softflex VIB group or the Jesse James Beads Secret Stash group, because we love to see what you guys make. And even if you make along, feel free to post yours. You know, if you even make the same thing, I like to see, did you choose to make the same thing or did you choose to make something different? So the next little section is going to have, again, those little saucer metal beads, and then this beautiful big sparkly silver bead. Right, and then we have this gorgeous bead. It's got just some fantastic facets on it. It's like a really fun shape. We have that one, and I put two of these little sparkly spacers on either side of it. A minute ago, I had too much light in here from my window. Now I feel like I don't have enough light. So let me open up my light a little bit here. Go. All right. And I'm going to do the same on this side. It's over here out of the way. So again, the little sparkly, interesting shaped guy, and then the two little pieces. Have there been any questions or anything, Sarah?
So far, I think everyone is excited here. Cheryl was saying that she really loves the black choice that Softflex put together. And Tracy, I love this. Tracy says she didn't even know that there was a choice, and she received black, and she's absolutely thrilled.
Oh, maybe that was the one that was just like first choice or something. Just if you didn't make any changes. Yeah. How funny. Well, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. And I'm going to just kind of push these off to the side. And I don't know where this little coppery guy came from.
That's from the like bead mix.
Oh, maybe it fell out when I opened it. I was like, how did this get mixed in here?
One of these things is not like the other.
Right? All right, so we're going to use our Softflex craft wire today, and we're going to make some connectors to make our own beaded chain. And then we're going to attach some Softflex beading wire on the back end of the necklace with our magical crimpers or whatever crimpers you have handy. And you can bead up the wire if you prefer. You could do like seed beads or add some more of these beads. I'll give you alternatives throughout the design for you to make it your own, or you can of course make it just the same way that I am making it. I'm gonna move just a couple of things off the screen here so we have a little more space. Okay, here we go. So Softflex craft wire is a copper-based wire. It has a color coding and it's pretty fantastic. It comes in a lot of different gauges, but it will actually hold a shape, whereas our beading wire is more flexible like a thread or a cord. And so I'm just gonna unroll a little bit of that craft wire, and then I'm gonna grab my nylon jaw pliers, or if you don't have these, you can always just run your fingers over the wire. It's pretty malleable because we're using the 22 gauge. So it's right in the middle. We carry up to 28 gauge, which is pretty thin, down to 16 gauge, which is pretty thick and not really malleable that you could just do this with your fingers, but 22 gauge is pretty soft. And then I'm just going to run my nylon jaw pliers right over that wire. And that'll just take all the bumps and kinks and all those kinds of things out of the wire. It also starts the work hardening process. So then I'm going to grab my round nose pliers, and I'm going to go about halfway down my plier, not quite. Some people like to add a little mark, or you can always use, we have some round nose pliers like these that are much bigger that have markings on them. So you can make your loop exactly the same every single time. I'm just eyeing it out. So I know I'm going to go around here, not quite in the center, but a little to the left. And I will do that on every loop so that they're a similar size. I'm going to make a 90-degree angle and then pull my wire up over the top of my round nose. There are lots of different ways to make connections. This is the way that I have been using for years that I'm most comfortable with. So if you have another way that you do it that you're more comfortable with, use that, use that pattern or use that technique. I find this makes a really nice little loop and has always worked really well for me. So before I close it up, I'm going to go ahead and add my crystal piece right onto that loop. And then I can come in either with my round nose. I tend to just use my round nose because it's already here in my hand. Or you can grab a chain nose, which is flat on the inside and then it tapers to a tip. You can grab that way. I'm probably mostly going to use my round nose to just hold on to that little loop and then wrap around. If I'm doing a ton of wrapping, I might use my chain nose pliers to do this wrapping part. But most of the time, I tend to just use my fingers to make my wrap. Hopefully you're seeing that all okay. All right, I'm going to come in now with my cutter, and I'm just going to trim off that little excess piece of wire. You want to be really careful, of course, that you don't cut the wrong wire. And you also want to kind of hold on to this little piece here so it doesn't go flying. Just kind of hold it and let it drop. And especially if you're not wearing like glasses at all, or you have people near you, those little pieces of wire can really get going. So make sure you hold on to it and then trim off however much wire you think you need for your next section. I'm going a little overboard because I'm doing a video. I probably wouldn't do quite this much wire normally, but it's better to have too much than not enough. I might come in with my nylon jaw plier and just straighten that all out again. You can kind of see that connection looks like. And then I'm going to string on my little saucer metal bead, my beautiful little flower. I love that piece, Sarah.
Thank you.
And then another saucer. Look at how great that's looking already. Okay, so now I'm on the top part of the connector. So I want to kind of adjust so that I have the beads flush with the circle down here, but I'm going to make another loop here at the top. So I'm going to come in again, just a little left of the middle of my plier and make another 90-degree angle and repeat. To make a loop that's a similar size as what I made before. Hold on to it and do my wrapping. And I'm going to wrap about 3 times. Some people are very precise about their wraps. I tend to be less precise, to be honest. I just kind of wrap it. No one looks at your jewelry that close, but if it's important to you, then be precise. I feel like that's kind of the name of the game in jewelry. Do what makes you happy. As long as it stays together and it looks good, I'm happy for you. So there we go. We have our first piece. So now it's kind of a rinse and repeat. I'm going to make this beaded chain with all of these components. So I'm going to keep going with my wire. And again, I'm using that 22 gauge soft flex craft wire. Our wire, our beading wire and our craft wire are all made here in the USA. And we are located in Sonoma, California, if you're not familiar with us. I have a feeling most of you are. We're not hiding under a rock or anything. We're kind of out there. Yeah, we got another loop. So before I keep going, you guys might have to remind me so I don't forget, because I get talking, connect, and then keep going. So Miss Sarah James, how was your trip to the UK?
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for asking. The trip to the UK was wonderful. Sara Oehler is asking because she knows that I took a trip with my family overseas for New Year's. We got to do a little New Year's celebrating with family in Barcelona, which was amazing.
Whoa.
And beautiful. We saw art by Salvador Dali and the
Whoa.
It was spectacular. Plus being with family is always so wonderful, especially to ring in a new year.
Yeah.
And then after that one, we went to London to visit my partner, Rodrigo's little brother. We got to see more family out there. We set up jessiejamesbeadsuk.com. So
I mean, what the heck?
yeah, if there's anyone that's tuning in from overseas across the pond in the United Kingdom or Europe, we have a new distribution center that's made just for you, and we are going live tomorrow.
Oh, that's awesome. We're going to have to talk about how you're going to stock Softflex there.
Love that. Yes, let's cover the world in beautiful color-coded craft.
Figure it out. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm glad you had a good time. What fun things did you get to do while you were in the UK? Any sightseeing?
You know, the UK was a very quick trip. And the funnest thing that I really have to say was getting to meet the nephews, these two little boys that are just full of so much energy and light. So that was just filling our days with excitement and energy and positivity.
Oh.
But if I have to talk about in terms of doing some sightseeing, I did get to hang out with the amazing Gem Hawks in downtown London. Gem is a wire artist, an incredible jewelry designer that if you're following along with Jessie James Beads, I'm sure you've seen her work on our channel.
Awesome.
And we got to hang out and go to a pub and have some lunch. And it was just a really, really wonderful day to spend with a jewelry designer that I admire very, very much.
Oh, that's so awesome. I'm excited for you. Do you have any other big trips planned?
We do have Tucson coming up next week. So that's a big one.
Oh, you're going to Tucson.
We are going. Yeah. And it's been, it's been a little bit up in the air with are things happening or is it a good idea to go? But we have decided that we will go and we will wear masks and wash our hands and
a lot.
take care and, and that's that. So I'm really excited to get back out there. It's been a little while. I'm excited to see friends and just be able to do a little bit of bead shopping for JessieJamesBeads.com. Tucson's got a lot of great energy to it. So I'm excited to be part of it this year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just launched our Tucson collection yesterday. Did you see that with some Jessie James beads?
I did, and my heart was just a flutter, Sara Oehler.
So I'm just moving right along here, you guys, in that same pattern that we built right at the beginning. I know I'm super fast. I'm like the speed beater. So don't feel pressure to keep up with me. You can always replay it if you need to replay it later. And you can always go at your own pace. I know I have someone coming up after me that's going to be doing a video. So my goal is to try to get finished enough that you know how to finish the design, but don't feel like you have to rush through it because sometimes everyone needs just a little more time. So I'm giving you that leeway. Take as much time as you want. So I'm just going over.
About this. Yeah, Sara is teaching us how to make beaded chain with wire. And how wonderful of a project this is to really practice your wire wrapped loops.
Yes. Yeah. If you don't have your wired wrap loops down, you will after this project. So it's quite a few pieces to practice. Yeah, so we were super excited yesterday. We just got in the Jesse James beads, and so I hadn't even gotten to see them before we went live yesterday. And they came in the mail last night, and I was so stoked. They turned out fantastic. So hats off to our friends over there at JJB for always making a great bead mix and bead strand to follow whatever theme we throw their way.
Oh, Sara, it is such a pleasure to be able to design on a monthly basis for Softlex. We have a lot of fun with it. Thank you for inviting us into your amazing creative circle.
Thank you for being part of it. So we launched our Tucson collection because we're going to be having an event coming up. We have a new kit for the event. You can find it on our website, which is softlexcompany.com. And but we have the Jesse James bead mix and bead strand to match the kit. They're not in the kit this time. So if you love that bead mix and you love that bead strand, you have to buy it with the kit. And there's also a new trio, a Softlex trio that's based on Tucson colors. We unfortunately are not going to Tucson this year. I'm so sad about it. So I'm living vicariously through our Tucson collection.
The Tucson collection came out really good, Sara. I'm pleased with everything that I'm just pleased with the entire way that it looks. And, you know, I will be sad not to see you in Tucson. I was sad to hear that you weren't going, but this is kind of just the way that it is these past 2 years. And this year, especially, where, you know, we have the opportunity to do things, but sometimes we just need to say no, and it's okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we have a 2-year-old here, so he's still unvaccinated, and we just didn't want to take the risk. We were going to do it as a whole family, and I was going to take the girls out to the beach shows with me. I have 2 girls as well, and it would have been so fun, and maybe I'll be able to do it next year. So I've got one side complete. Now I'm just going to mimic that same side up the other end. But we are still going to Arizona. We're just going a few weeks later, and we're going specifically just to see their grandparents. And we're able to do it in a little more of a contained way. So I think traveling's fantastic, you know, and if I didn't have little kids, I might feel differently about it. But having little kids kind of is a game changer when it comes to COVID. Okay, so we're super excited. We're actually going to go camping in the desert, Sara. Have you been camping? I know you camped up and down California one year. Did you camp down in Joshua Tree National Park?
I did not. And oh my goodness, that's
excited.
Sara.
Yeah, it's like the perfect time of year because it's the desert and it's pretty hot in the summer, to say the least, like really hot in the summer. So this is like the perfect time of year where it's still pretty cool, and it might even have the desert wildflowers starting to bloom.
Wow.
I'm kind of crossing my fingers that I'm going to see some really cool wildflowers. So I think the kids are just going to be in heaven. All right, so now I'm on the second side. So you can see I connected one half of my beaded chain to the centerpiece, and now I'm connecting the second half of my beaded chain up the other side. And I'm just going to mimic the same beads. So a bead cap, a beautiful sparkle bead. I love these sparkle beads.
We call them our galaxy.
And then another. They do look a little bit like a galaxy. Like a black hole.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Space is beautiful. It's got so many beautiful colors and interesting shapes and things. Okay, speaking of, we have a supernova kit coming up. Speaking of space, that I'm really jazzed about. At any rate, and we partnered with Jesse James Beads on that too. So maybe that'll have some galaxy beads in it. Who knows? Okay, so second side of my connector. And you can see I'm kind of halfway up that round nose plier again. How's everybody feeling about the connectors? If you're making with me, are you feeling good about it? Do you need me to go over it a couple more times? Let me know.
I have to say, from this end here, Sarah, watching you create these wire wrapped loops is very, it's very calming and therapeutic to look at.
Oh, good. A little like watching Bob Ross.
Yeah. These little wire wrapped loops all in a row.
I miss having my coworker James make wire videos because he reminds me a lot of Bob Ross when he makes a video. He's got that really calm, soothing voice. Feel like you're relaxed.
Sarah, Chris is asking for you to go over your linking technique again, if you could do us the honors, please.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so I'm about halfway up my plier, and then I'm going to bend and make my first loop. Come around, and before I do any wrapping, while this is still open, I'm going to link to my next bead. So I just slide that little loop right onto my open loop, and then I come in with my pliers, either round nose like this or chain nose, and then I just wrap the little tiny wire around that base of the big wire. And I like to go 2 or 3 times around it. Like that. You guys seeing that okay? And then I can come in with my cutters, always flat side to whatever you're cutting, slide it in as close as possible and hold on to it. It's a little hard with black wire. And trim. And if that little piece kind of sticks out, you just pick up your chain nose pliers and you just kind of push in on it. And if this does what it did here, where it just kind of bent a little bit, you can always straighten that back out as well. And if there's any bends or kinks, I don't really have any on this wire, just grab those nylon jaw pliers and clean up the wire so it's nice and straight. Hopefully that helps. And on to my next bead section. So now I have a saucer bead and a beautiful sparkly bead. You can, of course, do whatever mix of beads you prefer. This is just a suggestion. If you want to make, if you want to be able to make everything that the other designers are making, though, over the next 2 days, try to stick to this bead mix because no one else is using this bead mix but me. So if you want to switch out any of these, if you want to use maybe these beautiful ovals, there's a really fantastic boho bead in here. That's beautiful. I thought these were really gorgeous too. These really pretty red crystals. You can switch those out. I will leave that part up to you. Or save all of them for something else. And there we go. We're going to make our second side. So we bend our 90-degree angle, pull over the top, adjust our plier to the side, and then come underneath. And hold it and wrap. So Sara James and I have been talking, and we have been planning and plotting some more events coming up later this year. So stay tuned, friends, because we've got some good stuff planned, and I'm super excited about it. I'm going to run my pliers over my plier. So Sarah, tell me a little bit about the wine that I get to try tomorrow.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
wait, is it coming? I don't think it's arrived yet. Now
Arriving
that I'm thinking about it.
It's arriving tomorrow, just in time.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
For our wine and beads event. So wine and beads, we're doing an after party for all of the attendees to our Galentine's event here. So we're going to be zooming and hanging together, and we're going to be tasting 2 different wines from Scout and Cellar Winery. I've got a Garancha and either a Garancha or Tempranillo, and a sparkling white. The red wine is from Spain, from this winery, also Pardo, which I have not had a bad wine from yet. It's so good.
But I'm having the red wine.
Yeah, you're going to like it. You'll like it very, very much. It's from La Mancha, Spain. And the other wine, the white wine, is from, you know what? I am not sure if it's from Sonoma or Mendocino, but it's an amazing bubbly. Yes, it's a California white, and I swear it's the best sparkling I've ever had. Like, clean and crisp and delicious. And Kristen Fagan, I know you're in the comments. Yes, she says she's looking forward to the bubbly. Kristen said Kristen chose the bubbly, which, side disclosure, all of the designers for our Jesse James Beads events, and this one, Jesse James Beads Soft Flex events, all of the designers are given a bottle of wine gift from myself, from Scout and Cellar Winery. And when I asked Kristen and the designers which they wanted, Kristen said, I'll take the bubbly because it's lemon season in Arizona and the bubbles are going to go great with the lemon. So I like that idea, Kristen. I like that.
That's so true. It's like lemon and orange season. When I used to live in Arizona, our oranges would come due like right at Christmas time, and then you'd have a few months where you could just pick oranges right off the tree and make fresh orange juice.
Oh my gosh, I love
so that. Tasty.
You know, I lived in Florida for 3.5 years. Actually, the very first JesseJamesBeads.com e-commerce order fulfilling warehouse was in Pompano Beach, Florida. From when I lived
really? I had no idea.
Oh yes. That was.
I thought you were always in Pennsylvania.
Nope. I lived in Florida for a short time where we had a mango tree right outside of my house, and that was
that's awesome.
Yes. But the warehouse, the first ever Jesse James Beads warehouse, was a 900 square foot hot box. No air conditioning.
Oh no.
one bay door, one garage door to open up the entire thing. We would work in the mornings, take a break in the afternoon, and come back at night because it was too dang hot during those summertime days in Florida.
Oh, that reminds me a lot of Mike and Scott, the owners of Softflex. When they first started, they were schooling in their garage, and it can get pretty chilly in the winter here. Not super cold. I mean, it's Northern California, so we don't get snow, but it gets cold enough that if you're sitting out in a garage in the winter for several hours, you can get a little chilled. So their friend who would do the schooling would bundle up and be out in their garage schooling. And it's just kind of funny to picture because we're such like a big organization with 12 employees now, which still seems small, but not that small. Oh man. They also tell stories about putting paint cans 30 feet apart and then running around the paint cans with the wire so that they could cut the 30-foot lengths before we had real technology to measure it for us.
Oh, that is so cool. You know, Jesse James and Company.
People will do.
Jesse James and Company started out of a garage too.
How many years ago was that?
Jesse James and Company as a whole. So not Jesse James Beads. Jesse James Beads brand is younger, but Jesse James and Company, which started with the buttons, which before that started selling garment industry supplies. That started in 1986 out of the garage of my mom and dad's house.
My mom. How old were you?
I was
in
0.
1986.
in the
Oh my
braid.
gosh. Oh, that's so fun. I love to hear those kinds of stories.
Yeah, we should have, it would be so cool to do like a beading industry storytellers event where we could have different companies come on and tell the root.
Yes. Yeah.
Started.
That would be fun. It's amazing to hear the stories, like where people came from and what they've built with their bare hands. So for the back end of this design, I ended up using the spinel colored softflex beading wire. I think it could be fun also to braid all 3 colors. And I think any of the colors would probably work fairly well. This bright pink could be super fun. But I'm going to go with the spinel to keep it a little more traditional and match in those reds that are in the design. But I think, like I said, you could probably switch that up if you wanted to and play around with whichever color you want to choose. And each one of these has 10 feet. So there's quite a bit of beading wire and craft wire in your kit. You're going to probably have more than enough to make all 4 designs from the designers and then have some left over. What is the time, Sarah, so that I have a little bit of a time check?
We are at 7:49.
Oh, okay. I got to get going. So I will be making those earrings probably on our Softflex Company Instagram and TikTok page. If you're not following us there already, please do.
And Jesse James Beats is on TikTok and Instagram as well.
Yeah, we post and attach to you guys quite often. I'm trying to think about how long is this. I think it's about 2 feet. I'm going to guess about 24 inches of beading wire. I'm going to take one of my 2x2 millimeter crimp tubes and slide it onto my softflex beading wire. And then I'm going to attach into the loop of my craft wire and then back in again. We finally had a video that went kind of viral on TikTok, Sarah, and it was super exciting.
Oh my gosh, Mazel tov.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're over 1,000 followers there now, so we can go live on TikTok. So if TikTok is your thing, make sure you follow us because I have some plans in my head that hopefully will come true. So here we go, attaching. I took the wire, I strung it through my loop back into my crimp tube, and now I'm going to grab my magical crimpers, which are these guys here, and I'm going to sink those down in the center of the crimping plier. It fits just right inside that little dip there, and then compress. And if you've centered it just right, you'll know because it'll come out looking like a little 4-corner ravioli. And then we turn it on its side and we compress in the 4 corners. And then just go around and around, center and compress from every direction. You're taking that crimp tube and you're making it into a little round bead by cinching the sides of the crimp tube into the nylon coating of the wire. I want to get up close, but that's fuzzy. So I need to stay back a little bit further. And then once you feel like that's secure, like you can give it a good yank and it's not gonna move, then you go ahead and take your cutters and trim off that extra wire. And then we're going to go around to the other side and just connect in the same way. This wire, the Softflex beading wire, has a nylon coating. It's very smooth and easy to wear. It's very comfortable. Like I said at the beginning, if you want to add seed beads or any beads of any kind onto the Softflex, you could totally do that too. Or you could take all 3 colors and braid them together. If you wanted to do something like that, that is a possibility. The sky is kind of the limit. So I'm looking to see if my 2 loops are pretty similar. And then I'm going to come in and crimp my second crimp. I'm not using a clasp because it's a nice long piece that's just going to go right over my head. So you kind of get a bonus extra clasp. I don't know if the others ended up using their clasps or not. We actually don't know what anyone is making. Can you believe that? I have no idea what the other designers are making. Instead, this time we divvied out the beads and the components and separated them. So we'd all have our own section of beads to work with. And that made it like a million times easier than what we did last time for our trick-or-treat party.
That is so
And that's
beautiful.
it.
So
look at that. Thank you.
I love with this. It is sassy. It's sexy. I love it. I love a long necklace, Sarah. And you just knocked this one out of the park.
Thank you. Yeah, this is like a true Valentine date night necklace. You know, where you wear it to a nice fancy place. Although I don't know that I'll be going anywhere fancy this year. Maybe next year.
Hey, you know what? Your kitchen and a pair of fuzzy bunny slippers can be fancy in these times. It's all about that attitude. You got a fancy attitude, a nice piece of jewelry.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. All right, I'm going to flip my camera back up. If you want to flip over to your view, that would be helpful.
What do you guys think? Did you enjoy this project with Sarah from Softflex? Sharon, I could not agree with you more. Sharon is saying that she loves an easy over the head necklace. I agree. I like my necklace, just like slip it on out the door. The hardest
thing.
Try it on. Yes.
Let's try it on. It doesn't quite match me today, but oh, I got it back. I got it on backwards. Try again. Who's up next? Who is coming after me? I can't remember if it was Brittany or Wendy.
We have Wendy Whitman in the waiting room. Whitman waiting room.
There we go. Look at that pretty nice piece. Just goes right over your head.
Oh my gosh. Everyone is really enjoying this. Sandy Hughes. Hey, Sandy Hughes. She's saying that she loved this project. It was an excellent tutorial. And I couldn't agree more, Sarah. Really, really great.
I'm so glad. I don't get to use craft wire as much as I like. I always kind of veer towards our beading wire. So it was fun to have the craft wire in this kit and go back to just some basic things that we all need to know to be able to make just some basic jewelry like a beaded chain.
And it's cool to see the craft wire with the really colorful beads too, because Softflex, when I think of Softflex company, I think of really cool colored wire that helps tell the story. Like it helps blend the melody of the beads all together. And it was really cool to see the colored wire in a craft wire instead of just the flexi stringing wire.
I couldn't agree more. Thanks for working with us on this, Sarah, and I'm looking forward to our future projects.
You bet. We've got a lot of cool things in the works, guys. Sarah and I have been talking just today, so stay tuned. A lot of cool things coming up, and I am going to let Wendy in the room right now. Actually.
Okay, that sounds good.
Wendy in the waiting room.
Is she back?
I think she is joining now.
Okay, great. In the meantime, if you guys want to grab anything from our Tucson collection, you can do that at softflexcompany.com. We have that fantastic bead mix and bead strand that Jesse James Beads made exclusively for us for our collection. We have a kit, we have a new trio, and we have some fantastic charms from our friends at Tierra Cast that are Tucson themed too, like cowboy boots and, oh gosh, a bucking bronco and just some really cute stuff.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the exclusively designed for Softflex kit with the Jesse James Beads for Tucson, it's really, we really knocked it out of the park with this one. And I'm not going to even try to have a hint of modesty because the strand and the bead mix are so beautiful. If you haven't nabbed
so good,
you should, because they're only around for a limited time, which makes it kind of special.
For sure. Well, did Wendy make it in?
I think she's given it a very good try here.
Okay. I can keep talking forever. I just don't want to talk over the top of her.
No, I think that we're fine. And everyone that's in the audience, just sit put or stay put.
Awesome.
So for the Galentine's Day event, if you're tuning in midway and wondering what's going on here, hi, Wendy.
Hi.
We are in the midst. We are 25% through, 75% still remaining of the Galentine's Day jewelry making party with Jesse James Beads and Soft Flex Wire. We just had the pleasure of learning with Sara Oehler from Soft Flex Company. And now up next, I have the delight to introduce you to Wendy Whitman with Jesse James Beads. Wendy, hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I am doing well, thank you. We are really excited to have you here, Wendy. Wendy is a jewelry designer who has got some YouTube fame with her channel, A Bead on a Wire. Wendy, you're fantastic at putting together really amazing stringing projects. And it's such a delight to see you create. So thank you for coming here and spending Galentine's with us, gals.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Absolutely. And the necklace Sara just made, I've watched the whole thing. So gorgeous.
Hey, I'm so glad you're here, Wendy, and I can't wait to see what you make. So I'm going to hop off and I'm going to let you get going, and I'm going to watch too on my end. And then hopefully I'll see you at the after party tomorrow night.
All right. Yep.
Have a great time. Thank you, Sara James.
Bye, Sara Oehler. All right, Wendy Whitman in the house. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I am doing great. And it is wonderful to be in your studio. I love all these bins that are behind you. I can only imagine that they're full of beads and wires and all kinds of cool things.
They are full of everything. They absolutely are. So yes, I try to keep it organized, but you know how it goes.
I do know how it goes, but I feel like you're doing better than me right now. And I love being able to jump into our designers' creative studios, which is something that Facebook Live and, just the technology that we have today has given us the grace to be able to do. So it's cool to be in your studio with you. And I'm excited to see what you have planned for us tonight, Wendy.
All right. Well, I'm excited about this. I can't believe it's here already. I mean, it just was a very, very quick time before here we are.
I couldn't agree with you more. And Sara and I were talking about that before we went live here on Facebook, actually, just how quickly time has been passing, like the holidays came and went. We created this idea for Galentine's, well over 2 months ago. And here we are. It's finally happening.
I know, it's amazing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and tomorrow night too. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's great to be able to do these sorts of things online. I agree.
Absolutely.
So Wendy, are you going to flip your camera? Can I help in any way?
Last time we did this, you had to invite me to flip the camera.
Okay, I'll do that here.
Chris is helping. He's the tech support in this house. So there it is.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well.
And guys, for everyone that's in the audience watching, I'm really excited to introduce Wendy Whitman to you on a live personal basis, because Wendy, we have pre-recorded videos that you do on YouTube all the time, and they are so fabulous. We've been airing them on Jesse James Beads. We've been premiering them on the Jesse James channel every Tuesday, and it is so cool to see how your creative mind works, Wendy. You really are positively brilliant.
Well, thank you so much. Chris and I were listening earlier when the whole thing started. And when you introduced me or named me and Brittany from Jesse James Beads, it was just kind of a moment for me. I was like, oh, wow. I mean, it's just such an honor to be associated with Jesse James Beads. So I have to say thank you so much for the opportunities. It's amazing.
Oh my goodness, the sentiments are mirrored exactly. It's such a delight for us here at Jesse James to watch incredible designers, and when we find someone that's creating with our beads and really just taking it top notch, like, well, we want to know you, And Wendy, you're a beautiful person and an incredible designer. So thank you for being here for Galentine's party with Jesse James Beads and Soft Flex. Are you ready to take it away?
I'm ready. So, we're going to make a bracelet tonight.
I'm going to spotlight your video so that everyone can see this up close.
Yes. Okay. So we've got this bracelet here, and it's just, it's using this beautiful bead strand, which I'm going to cut apart in just a minute to make this one. But this is the Yas Queen bead strand.
Yes.
And it is gorgeous. When we got the kits in the mail, and we were kind of dividing everything up, and Brittany and I had talked a little bit on the side, and she said, what do you want to work with? And I said, I love that big purple bead. I think this is the prettiest bead I've ever seen. It's just absolutely beautiful. So I immediately thought how pretty that would be as a focal in a bracelet. So we're going to be using that, and then we're going to be using this gorgeous chain. And I know Sara said earlier, she said she wondered who got this chain. It's so sparkly, and it is. It's absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to be using this and the bead strand, and then I'm going to be stringing on the soft flex pink tourmaline color, just like she used in the necklace. Actually Kristen's using it, I think. So yeah, the pink tourmaline color. So it doesn't really show, but it's nice. I like these soft flex colors because of these transparent beads. It doesn't take away from the color in there. I feel like it adds to. You can see it a little bit in these transparent beads, and it's just beautiful. So yeah, so this is what we're going to make here in just a few seconds. So I hope you guys like it.
It looks absolutely beautiful, Wendy. I'm excited to see how this project comes together.
All right. Well, what you're going to need, you are going to need a little bit of the soft flex pink tourmaline. Now this obviously depends on your wrist size. We're only stringing a small amount. I have a tiny wrist, so you may need to add more chain or take away. I'm the only one using this bead strand, I believe. So there are a few extra beads that I'm not using. So if you have a larger wrist and you would like to add some more beads in, you could. But I'm actually using, I've cut about 8 inches of this, but I will only really be using about 5 inches. I just like to have some extra for the crimping. So you can cut your soft flex the way that you want it. And then with our chain, I've cut this chain into 4 lengths, and I'm using 6 of them. So 6 of the little crystals, and it comes to just under 3.5 inches. And again, depending on your wrist size, you may want to make it longer or even shorter. But this bracelet here, I did 4, but I wanted to make this one just a little bit longer. So I have 4 of the lengths of this chain, and then I have the piece of soft flex wire, and then we are going to cut this beautiful bead strand. And I always love this moment of cutting these bead strands. It's just like, especially even with the mini mixes, it's just a moment when you open it up and there's so many beautiful beads there, and they just all kind of fall apart, and it's awesome. So we're going to be using this big, beautiful, sparkly bead. And we're going to be using the 2 larger purple beads. I'm going to scoot these others out of the way just so I don't confuse myself. We are going to be making some of these little dangles here with the 2 smaller purple beads. And then we're going to use 1 of the opal white beads. We're going to be using 2 of these really small purple rondelles. And then we're going to be using 2 of the metal beads on the strand. There's 2 metal beads. Then we have 2 daisy spacers. Whoops. And we have 4 bead caps. There were 2 different kinds of bead caps on here. So these, the one that we're using in the bracelet on the beads, is this one.
So cute.
They are. And then we're going to be using these flower, and I love these. I thought these were so cute too. We're going to be using them we're actually going to flatten 2 of them. So we're going to flatten them into connectors. So we're going to take the bead cap that's a little bit rounded and pound it with a hammer. So if you have any hammer, you can use, I have a nylon hammer here, And all I do is I just take it and I just give it a couple of taps and it goes flat. So we're going to make two little connectors, and then the other one we're going to use on the dangle. Okay. So if you have any kind of hammer, if you don't have a nylon hammer like this, you can just use a regular hammer and put like a piece of denim over top of this, or a thicker piece of fabric. But it's really cool to take them and just kind of pound them out flat, and then you can make little connectors out of them to connect your chain onto. So I just thought that would be a cute element to tie in, you know, the little dangle with the two connectors. And you don't even have to do that. That's just something that, you know, they'll still be great connectors if you don't flatten them out. But I just kind of thought that was a cool idea, so I did it. And that is everything you're going to need except for your findings. So I am using the gunmetal is what Softflex sent me. So I'm using the gunmetal lobster clasp and 2 gunmetal crimp tubes that they sent. And they have the best crimp tubes, I have to say. Their crimp tubes are absolutely amazing. I had trouble crimping in the beginning when I first tried to learn how to crimp. And somebody suggested Softflex crimps. They said you need to try Softflex crimps. And I did. And since then, I've crimped no problem at all. So they completely solved my crimping issue. So 2 crimps, I've got 2 wire guards here, and these are not necessary. They're just optional. So if you have wire guards, you can use them. I have these 2 rhinestone rondelles that were on the beading strand that we're using. And I think other than some head pins and some jump rings, that is everything you're going to need. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Softflex wire and I'm going to go ahead and crimp one end of it, just so when I string on, my beads don't fly off everywhere. So you go ahead and you put your crimp on first. Let me move these things out. Okay, you put your crimp on first, and then we go up one side of the wire guard and down through the other. Now, if you don't want to use a wire guard, you don't have to. You just make a little loop and put your 2 wires just like you would anytime you crimp. But I like to use the wire guardians just because I feel like it just gives it that little extra added little bit of security. So sometimes it can be a little fiddly getting through the second channel there. Okay, just like that. And then we just take our little crimp tube and we're going to go ahead and put this other side of the wire right down through it. It's fighting with me because we're live on Facebook. Okay, so just pull it up and I'll show you what we've got here. So we have our wire guard, and our Softflex goes through the crimp tube, up and over, and back through the crimp tube. Now, I like, when I'm crimping, I like to try to make sure that my wires are side by side and not crossing each other, because when you crimp this down, I don't have the magical crimper that Sara used. That's so absolutely cool. I really want to get one. I love the little ravioli shape that it made it into, but I don't have that one, so I'm just using regular crimpers. So you just want to make sure that your wires are laying side by side, and then you're just going to take your crimping tool and lay it in the little divot there and just crimp it down. And when you do, what it does is it puts each of those little wires in its own little channel. And then you turn vertical and you take it and you close it right up in one of these little spots up here. You just press down, and there you have a little crimp. So that is the difference that Softflex crimp tubes have made for me. I was never able to do that before. Okay, so we're going to string now. So we're going to take our small purple bead and put it on. And then I'm doing the daisy spacer. I've got everything kind of, I had it all separated out, but that's falling apart on me. And then we're using the metal bead And then we're going to do our bead cap, our large crystal. Those are so pretty, so sparkly. And our other bead cap. Okay. Then I'm using the rhinestone rondelle. And then this bead right here. I'm telling you, this is the prettiest bead I've ever seen, I think. It's so gorgeous. And sometimes the soft flex is a little hard to get because the inside of the bead is hollow. You kind of have to just play around with it a minute until it comes through the other side. It can be a little bit difficult sometimes to get it through there. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to put the other rhinestone rondelle on, our bead cap, our large crystal, our other bead cap, final bead cap, our other metal bead, our daisy spacer, and our little purple bead. Picked up a jump ring there. Can't find the hole there on this one. There we go. And here is our stringing portion. Now, like I said, if you want to make this longer, you can use, there were two beautiful white beads in this mix as well. You could use either of those. Or if you wanted to, we had one leftover white bead, you could use it. So, you know, or actually two of those. So if you want to make it longer, you can. You can use any of those other beads, but I'm just sticking with these.
And Wendy, real quick. So the design that you're doing right as is on your mat, how long of a bracelet will this make?
This will make approximately 8 inches. So my wrist is kind of small. This one that I did right here, I added some extra chain on this end so you could adjust it. So this one right here, yeah, it measures, well, actually about 8.5 by the time I added the chain, but this one's very adjustable. You know, you can actually clasp it all the way back to here if you want to. I wanted to leave this chain part off on the one I'm doing now and just clasp it directly to the spacer here, or the little that we're making into a spacer, the little bead cap. So this one will actually, when we get this all together, it's going to have just a little bit more chain. So it will be right about 7.5 or 8 as well. And you can always add extender. Most people, I think, you know, have a 7-inch wrist or so. Mine is kind of small, but now I had this one on earlier and I clasped it all the way back here and it fit pretty good. So it's, a lot of people have told me, I don't know, it's kind of odd because my wrist measures like 6.5 inches. But when I put it on, you know, it needs to be about 7.5 to 8. And I guess because of the space that the beads take up when it wraps around your wrist. So
exactly,
that's what I've been told. So yeah, this one here is about 8.5 inches. But again, if you clasp it back here, you're looking at 7.5. So it's kind of adjustable that way. Okay.
Thank you, Wendy.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that answered the question perfectly. And if anyone has any questions for Wendy, just shoot them on here in the chat and I'll be sure to feed them all over to Wendy.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and crimp the other end, and we're going to crimp it right onto our little bead cap here. Okay, so we're going to take our crimp tube, put it on, put your wire guardian on just like normal. I can get it in there. I had trouble when I was making the other bracelet. One of the wire guardians, it went in perfectly. The other one was a little stiff, and I don't know why that is, but this one seems to be the same way. So if I have to, I'll grab another one out. I am going to grab another one out just so I don't put you all through the pain of watching me try to make it go in there. I don't know why some of them are easier than others, but we'll just grab another one. So we're just going to stick it right in here if it will go. I'm going to trim the soft flex. Sometimes too, the end of it will get a little bit blunt if you've been stringing. So if you just take your cutters and just trim it kind of at an angle, that will help it just to be a little bit sharper to go through there, because these little channels on the wire guards are so tiny. There we go. That helped it. So we're just going to go up and over again and down the other side. Get that roller out of the way. Okay. Down the other side. And this time when we pull it through, we're not going to go right into our crimp tube yet. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take our little bead cap and we're going to string it right on here. Okay, so if you see that, and then we'll pull it down and we'll go on this end right into our crimp tube. So I'm just stringing it directly on. Get it a little bit more wire there until I can get through this crimp tube. And I like to go through a couple of the beads with my wire, the first couple of beads. I don't know, I feel like it's a little more secure if you're not cutting right beside, where your wire is crimped. I like to just put it through a few of the beads. I don't know if that's just a thing in my head or if that really helps, but I feel like it helps. And we're just going to pull this tight. Now, I like to pull them tight, but I don't want it to be, you don't want it to be so tight that it lays funny. You want it to have some movement in here. So I kind of pull it tight, but I don't overdo that. I just kind of pull it, but then let it, make sure that it's got a little bit of movement in there. And we're going to do the same as before with our crimping. We're just going to crimp this right down and turn it sideways. And go ahead and close the little crimp, just like that. Okay. There we go. All right, and now we're going to cut this. Just trim off your extra wire. And I save all these little pieces of soft flex wire. I had not worked with soft flex before, but, or not a long time. I haven't worked with it a long time. Let me say I have worked with it before, but I'm finding all kinds of things that I can do with these little pieces of wire. I can make earrings if I do it like this. So I don't ever toss these. I just hang on to these little pieces because there's all kinds of things you can do with it. It's really cool. All right, so we have our flower on this end. Now the other end, I'm going to take it and I'm going to hook it on with a jump ring. And the reason that I hooked one with a jump ring and one without is this one down here with the chain. I just wanted to give it a little bit of extra movement, just so the chain kind of, when we hook the chain on here, it's just gonna, I don't know, I just felt like it gave it a little bit of extra movement and helped that chain not to feel stiff in there. So I'm just going to hook this one on with a jump ring. Close that right up. I really don't need to be using my crimping pliers to hold that jump ring, do I? But I am. And there we have it. So we have our beaded section and we've got a little flower attached on each end. Okay.
Wendy, real quick before you move on to the next section, Paula is wondering, how would you do the step if you didn't use a wire guardian? What would you suggest to do with your wire to create that same loop?
Yes, I would do the, I would put the crimp tube on, and then I would take the wire and either loop it directly through, if you want to loop it directly through your connector here, or you just make a small loop. You go up and around and back down through your crimp. So you have the two wires side by side and a small loop here, and you can make that loop as big or as small as you want. So yes, you can definitely do that without the wire guard. You could even hook it just directly onto your little connector here, and not use the jump ring if you wanted to. So, and then you would just crimp as normal. You just kind of make a tiny little loop and then just crimp it as normal. So the wire guard's completely optional. I just like to use them just because I feel like it protects that wire, and especially with it being a bracelet where it's on your wrist and it just, you know, gets a lot of wear, I feel like. So a necklace, maybe I wouldn't so much, but a bracelet, I just feel like it gets so much movement and wear and tear. And I'm rough on everything too. So, you know, if you're a gentle, sweet person, but I am so kind of rough. I'm not graceful, you know, and I just, yeah, my poor jewelry. So, yeah, but you don't have to have that wire guardian. So now we've got our pieces of chain here. We have 4 pieces. And what we're going to do is we are going to take a jump ring and hook all 4 to our jump ring. And then we're going to hook them on here. Actually, I'm going to do 2 and 2. So we'll do 2 on one jump ring and 2 on the next jump ring. That's how I did it on this one. So I probably should do it the same. So here we are. We're going to open up our jump ring. I keep grabbing my round nose pliers there. Okay. And you can use smaller jump rings even than these. Normally I do, but I liked the thickness of these jump rings. I just felt like that they were better. So I stuck with the bigger ones. And I'm just going to hook one. So this little flower, I will show you here what I'm trying to get at saying. Just one second. Close the jump ring up. Whoops. The little flower here has different points. And what I want to do with mine, and you can do it however you want, it's like completely a design personal design preference. But so you see 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to hook the 2 chains onto this one and leave the middle one and hook the other 2 chains onto this one. And you can do it however you want on those little points. You could hook them all on the middle one if you wanted to. It's totally up to you, but I'm doing it hooking 2 on the top and then 2 on the bottom one. I love this chain too. It's so unique. Everything about Jessie James beads is so unique. Big bead. I just love it.
Thank you.
But all the chains, the chain reaction. Oh, it's just gorgeous stuff. So.
Yeah, it's so nice to hear that y'all like the chain. I'm a big fan of chain myself, and you know, Jessie James beads, we're known for beads. It's in our name, after all. But it's been a lot of fun to bring some new chain around to Jessie James beads.
And it's a gorgeous chain too. I will tell you, my very favorite chain I think that I've ever received from you all was the Lauren's in the matte gold. Oh, that chain is so pretty. And I could use it on everything. It's so pretty.
I love matte gold myself too.
Okay, so now we're going to take another jump ring and we are going to grab all 4 of these chains. You can do them in the order that they are if you want to do it that way, or you can mix them up and kind of wrap them around each other, however you'd like to do it. I'm just going to do them in the order that they're here. So I'm just going to pick up all 4 pieces of chain, just like this. Close this up. Actually, do I want to add my lobster right on here? I think I do. I'm just going to go ahead and put my lobster on and close this up. You could add another jump ring if you wanted, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And then your lobster will hook directly on to this connector on the other end. Now this bracelet is not going to be as adjustable as this one would be. And let me measure this and see, but it should come out pretty close to the same as the other one. Yeah, it's same, about 8 inches. So, but it wouldn't be as adjustable as the other one would be. If you wanted to make it very adjustable, that's kind of what I did with this one. You would just take and add some chain on here and then do these links a little shorter. So like I showed you a minute ago, I did 4 crystals here. I did 6 here. And the reason for that is I just, you know, I wanted to use a little bit more of the chain and showcase it a little bit more. I really love the chain. I think it's so pretty. So I just wanted to have a little bit more in there. See this one, let me put them side by side and you can see the difference. This one is just a tad bit, it just doesn't show as much of the chain as I wanted it to. So there they are. So see, this one just, it's kind of half and half beads, half chain. This one was a little more beads and a little less chain, which either one I love, but this one I think I like a little bit better. So now we're going to make our little dangles that we're going to put on here. And you can add your dangles on this one. I've added my dangles on the part where the lobster, did I do it on the part where the lobster connects? Let's see. Yes, I did. I thought I did. I did it over here where the lobster connects to the chain. You could do it on this side if you wanted to. It's totally up to you. You know, again, a design choice. You could put them here. But we're going to make a couple little dangles. And these are super simple. We've got our two big or bigger, medium size, I guess, little crystals, and then this white one. So I'm just taking a head pin. I do have kind of long head pins because I want to do wrapped loops on this. These are, I believe, 3-inch head pins or 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 inch. And I want to do wrapped loops. So you don't have to. You could use smaller head pins and just do a regular loop if you wanted. But I'm going to take my dangle here. I'm going to bend it 90 degrees. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab this with my round nose pliers and come up and over and down. I'm going to rotate my pliers up and then come right under with my wire. And I have a little loop there. Now, I don't like to hang on to that with my round nose pliers. For some reason, I just, you know, I think it mars the wire, and I also don't get a very good grip on it. So I'm going to grab it with my bent nose pliers, and I'm just going to wrap. And you can either use your pliers to wrap with. This wire is fairly thin on these head pins. So I'm just going to take it and just wrap around a few times. And if you can see, I just kind of spiraled it around itself. So it almost makes a little like a bead cap there. And I'm going to trim that off. That's my flush cutter. Okay. And then I'm just going to tuck this in a little. And there we have a dangle. I'm going to do that again with this one. I was telling you, Sarah, earlier today that we had a realtor come today and look at our house because we're going to be moving. And she came up here in the craft room and she was just kind of looking at everything. And she came over here, and on the table where I had made this bracelet, there were just little bits of like head pins and wire, and I hadn't picked it all up yet. And she kind of laughed. She said, "It's dangerous in here, isn't it?" You know. I said, yeah, kind of cut these little bits of wire and they fly sometimes, or they're just laying everywhere. But
wire flying, creative juices flowing, and you're at your own risk.
Exactly. That's what I told her. Kind of somebody that's being creative is a very messy bead mat. So I had it earlier. All right. Exactly. And we're doing the same with the smaller bead. Same exact thing. We're just going to wire wrap it. So just wrap it around. You can do that as little or as much as you want. You can keep going and, you know, wrap the whole thing, but I like to trim it off there a little bit. So there we have our 3 little dangles, and you can see they make like little bead caps on the top when you spiral them around like that. And then we're just going to hook these on. Now you can take a single jump ring and hook them on if you want. I kind of like to hook each one on its own jump ring.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could take a single jump ring if you wanted and just hook them all on it and have them dangle. I'm going to do them on the other side on this one just for variety. So I did them on the side where it clasps over here. I'm going to do it on this where the chain joins our beaded part. And I'm going to do each one on its own jump ring. I feel like it gives it just a bit more movement, but if you wanted it to be more like a little cluster like this, you could put them all on the same. Okay, so I'm just going to attach them, and you can attach them wherever you want on this little bead cap here that we're using. So there's one. I'm going to do number 2 here. I'm putting the little white one in between the 2 purple. Again, just a design choice. You can do it however you like. And one more. So this one, I'm just going to hook. I'll just go right here beside the white one so as to not get into my chain there. So there we have, I don't know if you would describe this as boho necessarily. That's normally my style, is boho that I love to make. But we have a bead and chain bracelet with a few little dangles on the side. So pretty easy and quick. Not difficult at all to make, but I'm telling you, the Jesse James beads, they're so sparkly and pretty that it really looks like that you've created something magnificent, I think, when you use them. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think.
I think I love it, Wendy. That is so beautiful. That is boutique quality. It's gorgeous. It has so much panache to it. Like that bracelet just has some swagger. The way that you've balanced the chain with the beads and the flattening of the bead caps, just a really cool design all in all.
Well, thank you so much. I really have good products to work with, so that makes all the difference.
Everyone is saying that they love the bracelet, stunning, and a great job teaching too. Gorgeous, beautiful, stunning. Wendy says Jax. Prudence was saying that she would call it boho with a bling. I like that.
I like that too. Yes, I love bling. Absolutely. The blingier, the better. And I love boho. So that's great. That's a great combination there. Boho with the bling.
And I have a quick question. This was just back here in the crowd. I'm not sure exactly who asked it, but I thought, oh, Janet. Hi, Janet. This was a good question. Janet was asking if you add the dangle beads to the bracelet to weight down the focal part, or is it just purely decorative?
Purely decorative. Yeah, I just totally did it decorative. I am kind of picky about bracelets, and I like them to fit tight, not necessarily like this one. This was a magical
let's see this one. I'm spotlighting you one more time. Let's see what's on your wrist.
Okay, let's see.
Oh my gosh, that's from Magical Mystery Bead Box December, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I like it. It's got a big focal here too. So you can wear this on top, or you can flip this over, however you want to wear it. But I like them tight like this. I don't like them to be, I feel like they're in my way if they're flopping around a lot. So this one, I tighten it up to where it really doesn't have the option, even though the focal bead's a little heavy, it doesn't spin. So, you can do it however you want, but yeah, those were totally just a design element.
So gorgeous. And you know what's really cool about this bracelet, Wendy, is you could wear it either side. It would look good. Like the sparkly focal bead could be the focal on top, but if it flips around to the bottom and you have the chain on top, it's just as pretty. Such a great design, Miss Wendy Whitman.
It's absolutely beautiful beads. I'm not kidding. This one, I just love. I could just sit and look at this bead all day. I mean, I want to sit up there in front of me on my computer just so I can see it. It's so pretty. I don't know what this is that you guys put on here, but it is the most sparkly thing I've ever seen. So yes, I absolutely fell in love with that bead.
That bead that Wendy is going gaga over is one of our Jesse James beads, artisan boho beads. So what we do with these beads, it's a clay center. It's a polymer clay center that's been rolled to get its perfect round shape. And you'll find some that aren't quite as round. And I think that that's part of their beauty because they are handmade. And then after the clay is rolled into a round with a dowel stuck through it to create the hole, it's then rolled on pave crystals on Rivoli crystals. So you get the sparkly crystal, and then you get like the metallic side of the cone shape of the crystal as well. Then 2 bead caps on the end, and that's your bead.
I'm telling you, it's beautiful. It's my Galentine. With this bead. So just so you know. Yeah, beautiful. So love it.
And it makes us feel really good. It makes all of us here at the Jesse James team, I myself and everyone that is here at the Jesse James Beads family, making this whole production happen. It makes us feel really good to know that the designers working with our products and the makers back at home are so in love with our beads. So thank you, Wendy, and thank you everyone with your beautiful comments over here in the chat.
Yeah. Thank you. We definitely are in love with these beads. And one way that I know when I get something from a company, and if I can lay it down and look at it and immediately start getting ideas for what I want to do with it, then I know that it's a good curation or it's a good product, a beautiful product. There are some that I lay down and look at them and I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? But I never have that problem. I mean, I lay these out in front of me and the ideas just start to flow. So yeah, great, beautiful beads. Thank you so much.
Blush over here. Thanks, Wendy.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an absolute delight, Wendy. Thank you so much for coming to be part of the Galentine's jewelry making party with Jesse James Beads and Softlex Company. I had a lot of fun tonight, and I'm so glad you could join us.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I so much appreciate it. It's been so much fun. So thank you.
And please, Wendy, this is Wendy Whitman that is here. Wendy, do remind us where our fans can catch you when they're not watching you on Jesse James Beads here on Facebook on Tuesdays. Where can our friends that are here in the audience watch you on the regular?
Well, I have my YouTube channel under Wendy Whitman, and that's where I do mainly everything. I am on Instagram under a bead on a wire. And here on Facebook as well. I do have a group on Facebook if anybody wants to join, where you can post your own jewelry for sale. So that's kind of fun.
Cool. That's really great. I love that. That's a really innovative idea, Wendy.
Yeah, it's a bead on a wire sales, and anybody can join. And yeah, if you have jewelry that you make that you want to try to post on for sale, then yeah, you're welcome to do that. It's fun. It's great to see everybody's creations.
Yeah, small business supporting small business. I'm about it, Wendy. That's really cool.
Yeah. And I love your vest. So I just had to throw that in. It's very Valentine's.
I've never worn this vest. It's been in my closet for 3 years and I haven't worn it. And I think I love it now. Sometimes you need just that one event to try out something funky and different. And now I think I'll incorporate it in the repertoire. We'll see.
Yeah.
Especially the vest. Oh, Wendy, thank you again so much tonight. And I want to just say a big shout out to the gals and guys over at Softlex Company for putting on this amazing event with Jesse James Beads. Tonight has been a total blast. We're halfway through our event. So if you had a great time tonight, even if you were just watching, even if you're not making along with us, I hope that you will join us again tomorrow, Friday, January 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, for night 2 of our Galentine's jewelry making party. That will be 2 jewelry making classes, starting off with Brittany Javers at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by Kristen Fagan at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then after that, we have our Wine and Beads Zoom after party, which I know I'm excited for. And Wendy, I hope that we'll be able to see you there too.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
Everyone. Well, have a great night. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you tomorrow. Happy Galentine's Day, night 1.
Happy Galentine's Day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.